Hello, beautiful souls! My name is Melissa. I am your Reiki, Emotion Code, and Yoga practitioner. So, what is Emotion Code? Emotion Code is a powerful method of finding and releasing trapped negative emotions that we've been storing in our body because our lovely subconscious mind desires to protect us from further suffering. That's great and all, but ready to let go. Emotions profoundly affect our quality of life, our experience of these low frequency emotions like fear, anger. They're very different from our experience of high vibrational emotions like gratitude and love. Now, the latter creates the powerful brain and heart coherence that regulates our nervous system, creates balance, and allows our body to heal. So, how does Emotion Code work? How can it be possible to be effective when you might even not be face to face with me? And even more amazing, how can you effectively use it when you're miles and miles away from the client? These are questions I get asked a lot. This whole process seems only unbelievable because we've developed certain belief systems throughout our lives that tell us what is and what is not possible. Here's a few. We are solid, confined by physical limitations of our bodies. We have to be near someone to have healing effect on their body. If you can't see it, then it probably isn't real. These are just a few examples, and I could sit here and go on and on and on and on. The lies that we have been told our whole lives. So, to understand how Emotion Code works, we have to first get around these belief systems to allow the possibility of another reality. Quantum physics, the science behind how Emotion Code works. So let's talk about quantum physics. This is nothing new. The brilliant scientists in the field have already proven that our reality is quite different than what we have previously known it to be. Quantum physicists have shown that our bodies can be zoomed in on a further and further, all the way down to our cellular level. And as we zoom in further, we get to our DNA. And that's atoms and electrons and protons and subatomic particles. And then all we have is space. That's it. That is it. They have shown that our bodies are 99% empty space. Another thing quantum physics has proven is also called entanglement. This is when an electron moves in one place and there's a corresponding action somewhere else. And because those electrons are entangled, in other words, we are connected to everything, this understanding of our depth connection to everything and everyone around us allows us to expand our conception of how we can affect those who aren't present in front of us. There's no time and space, right? So by connecting them energetically, we can actually practice the Emotion Code on another person who's far away. How does Emotion Code access the subconscious mind? Muscle testing. Y'all see me do this a lot. Emotion Code uses applied kinesiology or muscle testing to access the subconscious mind. So muscle testing shows the body's reaction to a thought or a question within the weakening or strengthening of our muscles. And this technique helps us to get a yes or no answer from the body. And when I use it, I get the information about the imbalances that are causing emotional or physical symptoms. Now, this technique works because our subconscious mind stores all the information about our bodies and makes up about 95% of our minds. It's part of us that remembers what we had for breakfast on the first Monday of April last year. It stores all the information, whether we're consciously thinking about it or not. It's kind of like a backup disk. Am I showing my age? It also conducts body functions such as our heartbeat, our blood pressure, the functioning of our liver, our kidneys. It also knows everything that is getting in the way of a healthy body. For example, your subconscious knows the argument you had with your mom in 1977, and it is causing your hip pain today, even if you no longer remember or think about the old event. Emotions are 95% of our disease. This is why emotion code is so fascinating to me. It allows me to access and deal with the information that we never would consciously realize is even relevant or important. It is not just information that's important, it's the energy, or more precisely, the effect of the emotional energy on the energy of our bodies. So emotions are made of pure energy. And when we experience them, that energy can get trapped in our body. Each one of these is a trapped emotion. These trapped emotions will then interact constantly with a certain part of our body wherever it's trapped. It's the energy of this emotion that can interfere with the natural frequency that exists within our body. And this interference, it begins to manifest in some form physical or emotional issue. Magnet energy. Clearing trapped emotions with emotion code. Our bodies are made of pure energy, what is not bound by constraints of the physical realm, or those logic brains. Now we can use the muscle testing to identify the trapped emotions and then release them using emotion code and magnet energy. Now it works just as well as distant as it does in person. Once a trapped emotion is identified, I can release it using the magnet. What we do is we run it over the magnet over a governing line of the body. It's called the governing meridian. Releasing trapped emotions around the heart. Another huge benefit of emotion code is the ability to remove a heart wall. Now a heart wall, gives me the chills, can form when energy of one or more emotions become trapped around the heart. A heart wall is your body's attempt to protect your vulnerable heart. And when this energetic barrier of trapped emotions forms, it can keep us from feeling hurtful, negative emotions as deeply, right? Although it can be helpful in the short term not feeling, but you gotta feel to heal. Right? The problem is that it inhibits our ability to feel loving, joyful, and wonderful emotions like love and gratitude. If you've ever felt like you've struggled to open up to the people around you, as though something holds you back from fully connecting with others, or it stops you from feeling emotions deeply, you may have a heart wall. Here are 5 things you should know about how emotion code works. 1, trapped emotions are identified individually and then released one at a time, never groups or bundles. Each trapped emotional energy has its potential to be so significant for you because each one has an impact on you in some way or another. Each comes from a specific time or event that was experienced either by you or someone else you may have inherited or absorbed the energy from. Now, these energies can affect us in so many various ways. It creates challenges, problems, discomforts, all sorts, both physical and emotional. And this is what makes me so passionate about this work. 2, each trapped emotion is identified singly and separately. When we release a trapped emotion, I identify it, possibly may need to identify when it occurred in your life, and then we can ask a few more questions. This helps us get to know if somebody else was involved and if it was absorbed, inherited, so forth, which can all be helpful information. Now then, we can release each energy as we find it. I also confirm with the body that we have released it and we have been successful. Each emotion needs to be recognized, inquired about, cleared, and then confirmed. Very precisely done. Thank you, Dr. Bradley Nelson. 3, the emotion code is a very precise method. First, we recognize our higher power. We are not doing this alone, and we ask them for help. Okay? Then we can muscle test to identify the trapped emotion using the chart that I have. Now we ask anything else that needs to be discovered before releasing the emotion as well. If the answer is yes, we get to be more detailed about what happened when the emotion was trapped, like an age of the person at the time, if the emotion was absorbed, inherited, of their own, what event triggered the emotion. There is so much, but our subconscious is that all-knowing. This is my favorite part of this work, is we don't have to relive it, right? And then we always check to confirm that the energy is gone afterwards. 4, it's important to let the body tell you how much emotion code work is okay to do in a session. Most of the time, what we'll find is that we can identify and release 5 to 10 emotions in a 20 to 30 minute session. This is typical, but sometimes you may find that your body will allow you to release 2 or 3 emotions in the session, and that is okay. Trust the wisdom of the body, trust the process, and as you're working through each emotion, finding and releasing these trapped emotions. 5, the body may need a few days to process. So at the end of your session, I will always ask your body how much it needs to process. Is it 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6 days of processing, right? And you can look at this as recovery time. During this time, you might feel some side effects of processing emotions that were released. Most of the time, processing is pretty mild. You might feel lighter or less burden. Other times you may feel some negative symptoms from processing. You might feel some echoes of emotions, the reverberations that we released. And this could feel tiring and all out of sorts emotionally. You may even cry. You may even get sick. This is your body releasing things that it no longer serves. They're unpleasant. It's not typical for them to last more than a day or 2. And then they're usually very mild. If this intrigues you, please go snoop around the channel. Go see what a session is like. I have a few of them posted so you can see. I work virtually. I work in person here out of West Jordan, Salt Lake City area in Utah. I want to thank you everybody for being here, tuning in, being curious, following your intuition. And if you would like to book a free clarity call, let's connect, see if we are a good fit for each other, and help you start your healing journey. Setting up, friends.